London did not fall to an invading army, and it was not destroyed by war, plague, or rebellion. Instead, one forgotten fire grew so powerful that it nearly erased the greatest city in England. In just 4 days, flames swallowed streets, churches and homes, changing London forever and proving how a single moment can rewrite history. In 1666, London was one of Europe's largest and busiest cities, home to nearly 500,000 people. Its streets were narrow and overcrowded, lined with wooden houses built tightly together. Markets were loud, fires burned daily for cooking and warmth, and few people realized how dangerously vulnerable their city truly was. Most London buildings were constructed from wood, sealed with pitch, and heated using open flames. Upper floors leaned outward over the streets, allowing fire to spread easily between homes. With no fire department and little regulation, the city had unknowingly been designed as perfect fuel for a catastrophic blaze. During the early hours of September 2nd, 1666, a baker named Thomas Fariner closed his shop on Pudding Lane. Inside the bakery, glowing embers remained in the oven, slowly heating the wooden structure around them. No alarm was raised, no warning given, and no one imagined what those embers would soon unleash. Sometime after midnight, flames escaped from the oven and climbed the wooden walls of the bakery. Smoke filled the building as the fire intensified, feeding on dry timber. By the time neighbors noticed the glow, the fire had already grown strong enough to leap outside and spread through the street. That night, strong winds swept through London's narrow streets, pushing the flames faster than anyone could control. Burning embers were lifted into the air and carried across rooftops, igniting new fires far from the original blaze. What began as a single accident suddenly became a citywide catastrophe. As fire advanced, fear overtook the population. Families rushed into the streets carrying children, food and valuables, while carts overturned and crowds collided in confusion. Smoke darkened the sky, people shouted warnings, and for thousands, this frantic escape marked the final moments they would ever see their homes intact. The flames spared nothing in their path. Churches, shops, and historic buildings collapsed into burning ruins. Even St. Paul's Cathedral, believed to be protected by stone walls, caught fire when surrounding scaffolding ignited. When its roof fell, hope across the city fell with it. King Charles II watched helplessly as his capital burned. Advisors urged immediate and extreme measures, knowing the only way to stop the fire was to demolish buildings ahead of it. The decision was cruel but necessary, forcing leaders to choose between saving homes or losing the entire city. Officials hesitated, fearful of angering property owners and causing unrest. Many citizens refused to allow their homes to be destroyed, believing the fire would soon pass. This delay allowed the flames to grow unstoppable, turning hesitation into one of the most costly mistakes in London's history. As the fire expanded, it created its own violent winds, drawing in oxygen and intensifying the flames. Temperatures became so extreme that iron melted and stone cracked apart. Entire neighborhoods vanished in hours, transforming London from a burning city into a raging firestorm beyond human control. Tens of thousands fled beyond the city walls, carrying only what they could hold. Open fields and parks turned into refugee camps, filled with smoke, fear, and silence. Families watched from a distance as their lives burned, uncertain if they would ever return to a city again. For 4 relentless days, the fire raged across London without pause. Night offered no relief, only glowing skies and falling ash. Each morning revealed new destruction, until finally the wind weakened and the flames began to lose the strength that had consumed the city. When the fire finally ended, London was unrecognizable. More than 13,000 houses were destroyed, along with 87 churches. Entire streets had vanished completely, leaving behind smoking ruins and silence where one of the world's greatest cities had once stood. Official records claimed very few people died in the Great Fire, but historians strongly question this number. Many victims were poor, unidentified, or never recorded. The true human cost was likely far greater, hidden beneath the ashes and lost forever to history. Despite unimaginable destruction, London did not collapse. Rebuilding began quickly, with new laws requiring brick and stone buildings, wider streets, and safer designs. The fire erased the old city, but it also created the foundation for a stronger and more resilient London. The Great Fire permanently changed how cities were planned and protected. Fire safety laws, urban design, and building regulations improved across England and Europe. What began as tragedy became one of the most important lessons in urban history. If the fire had never occurred, London might have remained a dangerous wooden maze, vulnerable to even worse disasters. Sometimes history advances through destruction, forcing societies to change. Progress is often born from tragedy, even when the cost is devastating. All of this destruction began with one forgotten ember left inside a bakery oven. One small mistake triggered a disaster that reshaped an entire city. History often turns not on grand events, but on moments of simple human carelessness. The Great Fire of London was more than an accident. It was a warning about human error, crowded cities, and ignored risks. The flames destroyed the past, but they also forced a future that could never exist without that loss. Modern London now stands busy and alive, built upon the ashes of its former self. Millions walk these streets, unaware that beneath their feet lies a city that once burned almost completely away. The past is invisible, but its impact remains permanent. If a fire like this happened today, would modern cities truly be prepared? Or are we repeating the same mistakes in new ways? History has a habit of returning when its lessons are ignored. History is filled with forgotten disasters and lost moments that shape the world we live in today. If you want to see another historical event recreated in AI, leave your suggestion below and help choose the next journey into the past. The Great Fire of London reminds us that history never disappears. It lives beneath our cities, within our buildings, and inside our decisions, waiting to see whether we remember its lessons or repeat its mistakes.